I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite
podcast
on the Citadel.
Welcome to a special edition of Andromenerds, the #1 Mass Effect podcast on the internet.
In the world.
My name is Minius of Minius GC, and with me are my co-hosts, Tucker from Mass Effect Follower.
Hello, everyone.
There you go, that's very zesty. And the one and only BioFan.
Hey, everyone. How's it going? I apparently have a zestier intro than Tucker.
Also, we're going to have a third person on, and we keep on teasing it, and it's no longer intriguing. Ability Drain is going to be our final co-host when we can get our stuff together.
We had, technological problems, and weather problems, and college student problems. Just all the problems.
Yeah, speaking of that, Tucker, this episode is going to be a little bit short. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, I live on Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, which is currently under an evacuation due to the hurricane that is nearing. From my understanding and the history of this island, a Category 3, maybe a strong 2, will flood the entire island. And supposedly this hurricane is a Category 4 or 5. So
Why have you not left, is my question.
honestly, I don't think we really need to be evacuated. I don't think the hurricane's going to hit or do much damage.
Oh, so you don't know it's going to hit?
No, it's like
near.
a 40% is going to hit, but, people are freaking out.
So it may hit somewhere else.
Wait a minute. I saw the cone. The cone pretty much goes directly up the coast. Literally, when this podcast launches, the eye of the hurricane could be directly over your house.
It could be.
Okay.
All right.
It's kind of interesting. It depends on where you're from. Like, people are really freaked out about earthquakes. I'm not. I'm from California. Doesn't bother me at all. Hurricanes freak me out, though. Like, freaked out. And Tucker does not give a shit.
Well, no, I don't think it's going to... I really don't think we need to be evacuating. I don't think it's going to do much.
I'm originally from Houston, so, I've lived through a few hurricanes. Nothing like Cat 4 or 5, but, enough where trees fall on your house and stuff. But I'm originally from Houston. I live in Austin now. So, we don't have hurricanes. We just have, really hot days.
I mean, the projected wind is 70 miles per hour on Friday and Saturday when it's supposed to hit.
Huh.
That's not that bad.
No, it's not.
I've been in 80. Once it gets to 90s where you're kind of
All right, well, that's good then. But we are going to cut this podcast short because in case things don't go right, Tucker's got to get all his stuff together. And we did not record earlier because we're wildly uncoordinated. Pretty much, it's difficult to get a podcast together with 4 different people from 4 different time zones and 2 different continents. It went smoothly for a little bit, but I expect we'll get our rhythm back at some point. So we had topics, and we're going to push those to next week when we talk about all kinds of science stuff and also get into what kind of games we like. But today, we're just going to kind of shoot the for a while.
I was going to say, do we want to start off with the most recent Mass Effect news?
Do we want to talk about how the release date is totally, kind of, sort of, maybe, kind of, sort of, possibly, totally, legitly confirmed, kind of, sort of?
The super secret news segment.
Boom!
It's hard to do news when we can't record whenever. What's going on?
Yeah.
So, okay. Do you want me to do this chronologically or like the full?
Do it in whatever order you feel is most entertaining.
I will do it in the full chronological, full umbrella story. Okay, here we go. So, a week and a half ago, a Tumblr user named Sunshine Ida she was working at her bookstore and she was like, I'm gonna go see what's on this kind of ordering website for bookstore employees, see what Mass Effect stuff is up there. And she found that the art book for Mass Effect Andromeda was up there with the release date of March 21st. And if you look at Dragon Age Inquisition's art book, it also launched on the day of launch. So people thought that, and myself included in this, people thought that maybe this was an indication of when Mass Effect Andromeda would release as the game alongside the art book. And then, just like, what was it, yesterday, or I guess now when this comes out like a few days ago, Dark Horse and Amazon released further details. Dark Horse said that it would be coming out on that the art book would be coming out the 21st. Amazon said that the art book would be releasing simultaneously with the game.
So normally I would take that as ironclad. I do not trust Amazon, but
Well, I mean,
I have a feeling that that's right anyway.
If you look at like all the strings on the corkboard, we knew that March was like the most likely month because it was the last month in EA's quarter system in which Andromeda is scheduled to release, and BioWare would probably want to go later into whatever time frame they have so they can polish up the game more. March would be the last month. There are 4 Tuesdays in March, which is kind of no-brainer. But and then there was Amazon has a placeholder date of March 31st. The 31st is a placeholder day. The placeholder month for Amazon is December, so the fact that they put it for March kind of maybe telling you something.
Amazon does really like to put dates on stuff when they don't have the information. I believe all the logic is there, and I'm going to let you continue, but
Yeah.
I can't put 100% on this one, but go ahead.
I mean, yeah, like out of all the sources, Amazon's the one I trust the least, but the fact that the art book is coming out on the 21st...
The Dragon Age art book released same day, right?
Yeah.
And that's the most recent pattern that they've been doing. The Art of the Mass Effect Universe book came out about a month before Mass Effect 3 came out, and that had spoilerish stuff there, but that again was 2012, and 2014
a while ago.
A lot more recent.
Yeah, BioWare had different leadership, a lot of different people back then. And didn't EA even have different leadership back then?
Yeah, EA's had some turnover since then.
Yeah, EA's leadership is different. So, like, things are pretty different from, like, 2012.
I mean, other examples are that the Halo 5 art book and the Halo 5 game were released on different days.
But I think just, like,
Yeah, they're on the same. Never mind.
There's so many different pieces of evidence, though, that kind of all lean towards the 21st. And there's only 4 of the most possible dates, and it all hits on one of them.
Yeah, so if we did a couple weeks ago, we did a prediction on when it's going to come out. If we were to
and this was before the art book thing.
Before the art book thing. If we were
and I was not allowed to change my guess after the art book thing.
That's what.
No, you gotta stick with your guess.
I have to stick with my guess, apparently.
It was like the release date's official. It's like, I think it's going to come out on the official release date. I should win. You're like, that's not impressive at all.
Technically, it hasn't been confirmed by BioWare yet.
I think, Tucker, you had sometime in February, right?
I had late February.
You were kind of taking the field.
I think we also gave him January as well. We were just like, you know what, Tucker, you can just have...
He'd be closest. BioFan picked...
I picked the 14th.
The 14th, and I picked the 28th. And the 21st is directly in the center.
The middle. So we were both trying to hit it.
Yeah. I think we'll have like a split crown where we'll split it in half. Because
why not just both have crowns?
Because it's not quite as impressive as actually getting something. I mean, we both missed, but we're close. Well, we'll discuss this later. Anyway, if we were to repick it, I think all of us would say, if you were going to guess a date at this point, it would be the 21st.
21st, yeah.
That's what I think
all three. If we were to rehab the guess, we'd all guess on the 21st, and it wouldn't be impressive anymore.
Another cool thing about it being on the 21st is, if you write it out, it'd be 3/21. So 3-2-1, as in 3-2-1 launch. Get it? Because, like we're in space and rockets.
Wonder if they would, if they're like, that is so cool, we need to move our launch date by a couple of weeks so we can hit that.
Well, they were probably like, well, let's pick a date in March, and then like, oh, hey,
3-2-1 happened to be there.
There's been other things like that have happened for releases of things,
Although in Europe, it's like 2-1-3.
Yeah,
and it's
okay,
well,
impressive.
you know what?
I mean, I've seen that with other games, too. I think Modern Warfare 2 has something like that. Like, it was 12-11-10.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it? Was it Skyrim that hit on 11/11/11?
Yeah, I mean, game companies love that kind of stuff because it's easy to remember.
Yeah, it makes your release date really memorable for the public. Like a lot of horror games will break that Tuesday pattern to release on Friday the 13th.
I will say, and it's interesting to point out, we had a little conversation about this yesterday. On the official BioWare site, even that book that Dark Horse said is coming out on March 21st, they don't have a date on that. They say
That's because it's
ship
BioWare,
early.
and they don't wanna like give it to you until like they're ready to give it to you.
I wonder if that's because they want to give themselves leeway if something goes wrong, or if they don't want to take away any thunder from the stuff coming out.
If like if a very tiny asteroid hit like the Edmonton or Montreal office or something, then they would probably have to delay things. So I guess that's why they don't want to like.
If a very tiny asteroid hits Edmonton, Edmonton is gone.
Okay, well, if just Edmonton is gone, that still would delay.
And then
the
it
release
kicks
date.
up smoke in the entire atmosphere, and the Western Hemisphere.
Okay,
shuts
you know
down
what,
for a while.
Minius? Let's just
Science.
Okay, a bomb. Fine, a bomb.
Why are we bombing BioWare? We like their games.
I was trying. Okay, if something happened,
I
where
was going to say
BioWare-
like somebody like tripped over an electrical cord and all the power went out.
They accidentally deleted the depot from Perforce.
what?
Those at BioWare that know what that is, you'll understand the joke. All right, Perforce is
I wanted to see how long we could go.
Perforce is an application that lets you share and work on things at the same time. So
Oh, I see.
I can basically the entire and from what I've learned, that is what Mass Effect Andromeda is being made on, is Perforce. So basically, the entire game is on the server, and you can work on certain parts of the game while other people are working on other parts of the game.
Ooh,
and
I got
the
it.
depot
I got it.
is like the hub, is where where all the folders are, and it's very not easy, but it's quite possible to accidentally delete the entire depot.
I think that happened with a Pixar movie.
That's happened with projects that I've worked on, and I mean you can revert it and get it all back, but it's a hassle and a bitch.
Yeah, somebody saved a copy on their laptop and they had to work exclusively off that copy or something.
So the scenario that would happen would totally be like they just go gold, and so they like pop the bottle of champagne, and the cork flies and hits the water cooler container delivery boy, and the water container goes and hits the server, and water just explodes all over it, and everything is just lost.
That guy's fired then. Come on, you take a champagne cork. Hold your stuff together, man.
Yeah.
That's totally what would happen. Totally.
Okay, so March 21st, they'll probably officially announce that date on November 7th.
November 7th. Yeah, it's probably going to be at like the end of the N7-day trailer.
Yeah, and it'll be unimpressive, just like when they announced...
I'll be there doing my reaction. I'm like, called it.
Just like when they said, oh, this game's in Andromeda, but that came out 2 months beforehand. It just doesn't have quite the same impact at that point.
I really want the... Oh, we could talk about what we want for like to happen in like the N7-day trailer.
Oh, I got something for that, and we should do that the week before.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that makes more sense the week before.
I have like a general statement. Can I do a general statement?
You can, but it might damage us further down the line. But go ahead and generalize your statements.
Okay, I would really like the next trailer to have a lot of shock factor. Like, going back to the Inquisition trailers, my favorite one was like the Enemy of Thetis, because it had a lot of kind of like shocking, surprising, really exciting stuff in it. So I would really like something like that instead of just like the environmental shots and things like that.
I'd almost prefer for it not to be that shocking and have that shock in the game, but I don't know.
I'm gonna
Well, I mean-
I'm gonna go with boring and kind of want something
Well,
like what they
pretty.
did with the gameplay
Something
tech
pretty.
demo.
Not necessarily
something-
boring, but pretty and...
Well, I want something pretty that kind of shows some new stuff, but I don't want anything to be fully kind of reveal, like a shock factor reveal.
Tucker, have you seen the enemy of Thetis?
Nah.
He's still in
Not
the
at all.
hinterlands, so
He's
I
still
don't
in the
know.
hinterlands, so I don't mean like reveal the entire game's story plot. I mean like, for example, in...
Maybe the hurricane will blow my character out of the hinterlands.
I don't want to spoil it for Tucker. I'll just let me think of a way where the people listening that have played the game will know what I'm talking about. So you see Alistair in the trailer with another certain character that caused a very strong reaction to the fandom, and I would like something equally shocking in this N7-Day trailer.
How would they do that since there are no characters?
Well, how about at the end of the trailer it cuts and
No,
shows
but I
like
mean like
Anderson.
something on the same level of shocking. It doesn't have to be a character related.
Let's come
thing
up
like
with
that.
something that would be just as shocking in a trailer that would be
It shows
acceptable.
Anderson on the Ark, and you find out that the Anderson that was with you in Mass Effect 3 was a robot.
Oh God.
Dun, dun,
There's no
dun.
they would have such a hard time not derailing their entire franchise. They're like, "Oh, it's Shepard." And it turns out Fem Shep and Male Shep are lovers now, and they have a child, and that child is Ryder.
Okay, just stop, Minius. Just stop.
Yes!
How would that do? That would be surprising and shocking.
I am
What the
shaking
hell is
my
this?
head. Like a good shocking surprise. Okay, BioWare, if you're listening to me, just make it like wow me, knock my socks off. Just do your thing.
I think they could show some like dynamic environments, like a lightning storm and a firefight and stuff like that, and it could be shocking and surprising without actually ruining it with some creepy idea that I had or Tucker had.
Again, I would much rather just kind of, again, a small little demo rather than a trailer, because when it comes to trailers, companies would rather show off some big scenes that might give away some of the story that we don't want give away. Like some things we'd rather it happen with our first play rather than, oh, hey, this is the scene coming up I saw in the trailer.
I have two ideas now, but I think we should probably leave it for our pre-7-day special.
Unless you're giving predictions. So here's the idea I had for the pre-N7-Day show, and I'm stealing this directly from a podcast that I'm very fond of, and some people will know exactly what I'm talking about. But we will have 3 to 5 predictions to what is going to be unveiled on N7-Day.
Okay.
And they have to be stuff that you don't know about ahead of time, and somewhat they can't be like super obvious. Like,
So we can't say release date.
Well, yeah, release date's pretty freaking obvious. So we'll go with that. But if you say like I predict they'll show Ryder in one of the scenes, that's not tantalizing at all. But 3 to 5, whoever gets the most right will get the crown for the next week.
Okay. Well, so they'll get the crown for like the post N7-Day show then.
Yeah, the post N7-Day show, they'll have a crown.
Okay. By the way, I've kept a list of all of our bets. So I have like a list of all of our bets that I've kept track of, by the way.
Just 2 at this point, right?
Yeah, it's the O2 versus G2 versus Q2.
What a
And the
dumb
March
It's a
14th.
Q. It's going to be a Q.
The March 14th versus March 28th versus January/February.
That one's more fun. But okay, all right.
I really
so
want them to make it a Q now. Just
yeah,
'cause.
just to well, it'd be
It'd be
kinda
hilarious.
Stupid. It'd
Well,
be hilarious,
again,
but it'd be
I
like
said Q as a joke.
I know, and that's why it'd be funny if you won. All right, so we got the date probably March 31st or 21st, which interestingly enough is also like 10 days before their financial quarter ends.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And
Which-
oh gosh, what was I gonna say? I had something and then I lost it. Oh well.
We wanna
Oh,
talk
I got it
about.
back. I got it back. It came back to me. So their major marketing campaign is going to start on November 7th. If they release it on March 21st, that gives them like 5.5-ish months to advertise, which they need like 5 to 6 to advertise the game. So that's like the perfect like spot right there, like late March. Perfect.
Yeah, that would work. I've always thought that the marketing right now for Andromeda is a little off, almost as if whoever was in charge of marketing for the game left and was handed to somebody else, and they changed up the plan. Because we were talking about how it could be like a Fallout 4 thing, where they announce the game and then have a quick run-up.
Versus, like, a trailer every, like, 6 months to a year.
It's too late for that already, because they had...
Yeah, it really is.
Aside from the fact that they talked about the game in 2014 and said it's a reality, then they had the weird 2014 EA trailer where they're definitely working on a Mass Effect game. Then 2015 comes along and they announce it officially. The game's not out till 2017. There's no quick reveal at that point.
And
it's
then they
already
have
out
like
there.
the N7 Day trailer, and then like they say, "Oh, you won't see anything until like N7 Day." Or wait, no, they had EA Play. Then they said they won't see anything till N7 Day. Then they dropped this gameplay footage on us, which I mean, we sound pretty ungrateful. I'm grateful for the gameplay footage. It was awesome. But
did they say at the EA thing that I mean,
yeah, they said on Twitter that it was very unlikely that we'd see anything before N7 Day. So I don't know. I think maybe the Sony thing was a sudden decision.
I thought that at the Sony thing, that's when they said no more stuff or no more like gameplay or no more trailers until
so after EA Play, they said that we probably wouldn't see anything until N7 Day.
No, they said fall.
They said fall and well, on Twitter Mac Walters said you probably wouldn't see anything until N7 Day specifically.
I don't remember that, but...
He replied to someone when they asked if we'd see anything before N7 Day, and he said probably not.
Okay. But then those conferences where they have that, it's kind of hard for that to be a last-minute thing. That might not have been in the plans there, but...
Maybe it was planned after those tweets.
Oh, here's something we can talk about that we can shut it down real quick. PSX finally got announced, which is their own little Sony conference, and it's the largest game conference between now and release, and now there's a minor connection between Mass Effect Andromeda and Sony, which there's never been any BioWare connection before, so there's a chance that we'll get a look at PSX coming up in December.
I think the only reason that we have this kind of partnership with BioWare and Sony for this, because it's typically been Microsoft and Xbox with EA titles, is because the Scorpio is coming out like the Christmas time after Andromeda launches, versus the PS4 Pro will come out in time for you to play Andromeda on the PS4 Pro. So I think that's the only reason we have this kind of partnership thing.
And it's not necessarily a full partnership. I mean, it could just be a co-marketing deal.
Yeah, it's kind of like
or something similar,
thing, yeah.
Which is exactly what I'm hoping for. But I will be there at PSX. So if you want to stop by and say hi, go ahead and grab a ticket.
Really hope that it's not get this game a week early on PSX.
Oh, no,
they wouldn't do that.
I'm a huge PlayStation guy. I don't want any kind of exclusivity at all.
Yeah, I hate
Release days, anything like that. I just want to be able to play the game at a conference I really like. I loved PSX last year where I went there and I kind of pretended like I was trying to find Andromeda, even though it totally wasn't going to be there. But
so if you go, anyone listening, search for the Baby Krogan plush doll walking around.
I'm thinking about getting that guy a perch, like you know how pirates have like a little thing on their shoulder that parrots can hold on, but I'll make one for the Krogan, and that's how I'll be identifiable.
You could wear like a t-shirt with your logo on it or something.
No, I figure having a Krogan on your shoulder is more identifiable, but who knows?
Or you could wear a t-shirt of both BioFan and Mai's channel on it.
Yeah.
And then do a
you
little
could put like
promotion that way.
Minius on the front and BioFan and N7 follower or Mass Effect follower on the back.
You know what? I'll print out the very first Andromenerds t-shirt, and that's what I'll be wearing with a Krogan on my shoulder.
There you go.
New marketing coming up. But anyway, PSX. You guys, how many video game conferences have you guys been to?
I've been to EGX in London. And I've been to PAX South in San Antonio.
How is that, by the way, PAX South? Because that's the third or fourth PAX?
It was the second PAX South last year when I went. I need to get my tickets for this year. But it was the when they did it, it was at it happened to be a weird time when like no big games were doing marketing. So there wasn't any kind of event that was big to go to. I did go to like some like Dragon Age fan hangout kind of deals with Mike Laidlaw, and I mean, it was okay. I got some cool merch. There wasn't any talk that I was like, "Ooh, yes, gotta go see that." So it was kind of like they didn't have anything exciting that year. I think the first year BioWare went to the first one and had like a bit, like an actual panel at the first one. I think just the second one, the timing, they didn't have anything significant. So I'm thinking this next year, because it will be in January, so February, March, so it'll be 2 months or so before Andromeda launches. So I'm thinking BioWare may go back to PAX South, because BioWare likes the PAX conventions. So I think that BioWare may make an appearance at PAX South this
Plus,
year.
they got a studio right there, pretty much, right? I mean, not in San Antonio, but Austin.
No. Oh yeah, Austin. Yeah,
I mean,
I was like,
that's
not San Antonio.
close. Yeah, I mean,
It's like
Texas
2 hours
is huge,
away, but yeah.
yeah, San Antonio, PAX South, which was PAX South created before PAX Australia? There's 4 different
It was
PAX
created,
events.
I think, after or like really close to the creation of PAX Australia.
So I made a decision earlier this year to go to PAX East instead of to PAX West, or formerly known as PAX Prime, and that was not a great decision. But I got to go to Boston.
Yeah, PAX Prime is
and hang out
typically where BioWare like always goes.
I thought there might be something starting marketing there, because the game at that point was scheduled for 2016, and that would have been a place to start. But whatever.
Ooh.
I had fun. Still, PSX was my favorite. PSX, I got the most massive case of ADD. I went there with a couple of friends, and we would be having a conversation, and I would see over one of their shoulders like a new game I'd never seen before, and I'd just leave and walk over to the game.
At EGX,
Mid-conversation.
at EGX in London, I got to play the Dragon Age Inquisition multiplayer before it launched, and they put it on like some super hard mode and made like a competition, and like if your team somehow managed to like make it through the level, then you like got t-shirts and stuff.
Cool.
We did not win. Me and a Billy Drain did that. We did not win. We were like, like we kind of have to, because of what we do, and we totally lost.
But PSX first weekend of December, PAX South, January 27th through 29th, 2017. And yeah, I mean, fun if you're in the area. But PSX is in Anaheim, California, and
I'll probably be at PAX South this year. I need to get my tickets and hotel things straightened out, but I'll probably be there. So I'll have a T-shirt with my logo on it. You can bump into me if you want.
well, we could have the
Say hi.
Andromenerds. Well, yeah, one of us will be at both of those. So
Yeah.
hopefully Mass Effect 2, if we'll get more information on that, hopefully we'll get a little bit of a heads up, because that'll be more interesting. Last
They
year,
typically, BioWare announces they're going to, like, if they're going to have a major presence at a con, they don't announce it until, like, maybe a week before at most. Like, it's typically like, they're going!
which is fairly annoying.
Which is
Yeah, that kind of is.
so annoying.
I know last time there were some third-party games or games that weren't Sony exclusive there, like, Destiny they had a co-op with, but Battleborn was there, other stuff. So maybe not. I would put the percentage of Andromeda being at PSX at like 30%. Hey, Kelly, is there anything I should know?
You have unread messages at your private terminal.
Kelly!
Oh, right. Yeah.
At that point, we don't really have an established way to go from there.
No, not really.
When you're listening to this, you hear the clip. We don't hear the clip. It's all silence.
Kelly, hey, what's up?
All right, first one is from Austin Holt, and he asks, since the romancing mechanic is going to be updated, how is it going to function? Is it going to be like a little bit better than just going to some part of the ship after a mission and talking to them like it's normally been in Mass Effect? I would much prefer a more improved upon Inquisition-styled romance, where you're able to pick who you want and then go on dates and other things. What are you guys wanting to be able to do? And I have a clogged nose, so have fun with that.
Was that in the? I was kind of hoping that was in the message.
Does he have a clogged nose, or do you have a clogged nose?
I've had sinus problems for the past few days, and right now it's a very stuffy nose, so that's going to be very fun for you to edit, Minius.
Yeah, well, you're going to have a hurricane heading up your ass, so that's okay.
So speaking of,
I'll just edit you out of the podcast and say rip.
But they've I forget if it was Mac Walters or Aaron Flynn, but one of them said in like a post EA Play interview with, I think it was IGN, that the romances would feel more natural and more organic. So I'm thinking maybe like Inquisition style, but probably more improved upon.
I would guess a slight improvement on Inquisition.
Yeah, I would guess a slight
nothing really
improvement on
major,
Inquisition.
but
Yeah, I would guess that too.
Maybe more like in mission dialogue, romance specific dialogue in mission, maybe.
I hope it's not just go to your ship and talk to the people, because I like to talk to every single person, and especially Mass Effect 2. When I was talking to Morden after every mission, he said,
"Oh, it was a chore to like go to every single floor of your damn ship."
I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, but Morden was going like, if you're hitting on me, I'm not into that. I'm like, that wasn't my goal here. I just like talking to you.
But that was kind of a joke. It was great.
And then I also accidentally got in a romance with Jack, and I had to shut her down very quickly because I wasn't going for that.
Jack's romance is fun though. I like Jack's
And
romance.
I wasn't trying to romance her, and I accidentally romanced someone.
What in the question we were talking about dates or something like that. You can do little missions and stuff.
Yeah, maybe
Not quite semi-dates, semi-missions, doing special favors that trigger stuff.
Because in Dragon Age, they've had like romance-related quest dialogue or romance questy kind of thingamajigs. If we leave the ship, I think that would be the big thing. Like if we leave the ship for like romance scenes, that would be good.
Actually go to neat planets. Bang in exotic locations. All right, what else we got?
FirePaul23 asks, in Mass Effect Andromeda, would you like to find a planet that, similar to real-life Earth, they have never seen an alien before and have not mastered space travel?
So this is a very good topic that we're going to talk about next week.
Alrighty.
Which is on my list of stuff, so I might just cut this out. But actually, no. Stay tuned next week.
There we go.
We will be talking about this kind of stuff.
All right, the Dovik asks, how worried are you guys for Andromeda and the future of Mass Effect?
Like, we kind of touched on this a little bit. I'm assuming by worried he's talking about the series ending, right?
Well, I think he's just like, are you worried about the game?
I don't feel worried at the moment. I'm sure, like every game has its faults, but at the moment I don't feel like they've taken so much feedback from Inquisition and they've taken feedback from other games. Ooh, big other important piece of news. So there was a leaked article that's like the November issue of PC Gamer in which there wasn't any real like things we don't already know already. But there was one quote from Aaron Flynn that pretty much said they took the feedback from Inquisition specifically about how the side quests didn't really resonate, and they're taking that and using to improve Andromeda from that. So my total hatred of Inquisition side quests is being addressed, which was my biggest fear. So now I'm really not afraid.
I think my only fear, really, I think the game's going to be good. How good? Is really going to be up to a number
if
of
it will
factors.
live up to like competing with the rest of the Mass Effect trilogy in terms of and like enjoyability.
The only thing I'm worried about is the community going to embrace the game?
Yeah,
But not the hardcore people listening to this, but overall video game community.
And the thing is also, because I was saying about the hardcore, with Halo, every time a new Halo game comes out, everyone's saying this is ruining the franchise, that the previous ones are better. And like when Halo 4 came out, people were saying Halo 4 is ruining Halo. When Halo 5 came out, people said Halo 4 was perfect. Halo 5 is now ruining the franchise.
Yeah, there will always be that kind of chatter.
Yeah, I feel like with Mass Effect Andromeda, people are going to go, this is absolutely terrible, that either Mass Effect 3 or Dragon Age Inquisition, because that's their most recent, that, those were perfect, that this game's awful. And then, when Mass Effect Andromeda 2 comes out, like Mass Effect Andromeda is perfect. Why'd they change this? I don't know. Andromeda 2, the Andromeding. I don't know.
The Andromeding.
The Andromeda.
Two Andromeda 2 Galaxy.
I think they'd probably call it like Mass Effect and then like some other nice wordy thing.
Master Effector.
Maybe like whatever cluster we go to, if we stay only in the Helios cluster, if we go to another cluster, Maybe like whatever the name of that cluster is.
They're at the
Effect.
point where there's too many colons in the name, and they should just go Mass Effect Andromeda 2.
Mass Effect Andromeda 2, the colon.
I'm serious. I don't want to see Mass Effect colon Andromeda colon the other cluster that's nearby.
No, they just could call it Mass Effect cluster, or we'll take out the cluster part. So Mass Effect
That one over there.
I guess all the Mass Effect stuff that's been other than the main Mass Effect has always been Mass Effect colon something.
Because I know after Dragon Age 2, with Dragon Age Inquisition, they wanted to go with like
Names.
like without the number sequencing
they wanted
to
to go
make
with
it kind of
names.
stand out more on its own, to like welcome new players.
Which a lot
more.
of games are doing, by the way.
Yeah, they're taking out that number system, are kind of taking it out because they think it draws new players in more, because they won't think like, oh, it's the third one, I haven't played the others, I shouldn't get it, you know?
I don't really think that's true. Sequels with numbers always sell better. The statistics are there.
Okay,
But
well, there's
whatever.
a reason behind it
No,
somewhere.
you're right. That is the thinking, and they have pretty much said that, right? That's not speculation.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get this first game in the books first.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think it's going to be good. It's going to depend on. There could be really, really tiny things that they'll do that make plenty of sense that are going to irritate people, and how irritated they get. Like, for instance, if Quarians aren't in the game, which is a serious possibility.
Rage quit!
How freaked out are people going to get over that? I don't know. I don't actually know.
I don't know, I'm just kind of... I'm welcome to different things, so I'm not like easily upset by anything if they change it, just so long as the game is still Mass Effect, like still feels Mass Effect-y in themes and stuff, and just like has amazing characters and a kick-ass story. I'll be fine.
Okay, do we want to try one or two more questions and then try to wrap it up so Tucker doesn't die? Because we like Tucker.
Shazman Razir asks, whether it be DLC, expansion pack, or a smaller standalone game, which 3 squad mates would you like to see in a spin-off game? Set in the times before Mass Effect 1.
Oh, okay, before. I was like, wait.
Yeah, so, I mean, Morden, because I just love Morden. That'd be cool. Samara?
I kind of want, if it's going to be a spin-off game, for them not to have key characters play a large part.
That's not the question.
Because...
The question is the squad mates.
Okay, so then the answer is I don't want this.
Yeah, the answer is I don't want it.
I mean, it's just because if you have a character that you know they live through it, it's not as entertaining as if you have a character that you're not sure where they go.
Well, I
there,
mean, would
but-
you then be the same of playing Mass Effect 1 and 2 if you know Shepard's in Mass Effect 3?
Oh, those games didn't come out in that order, though.
Yeah, I know, but you know that with that. Or it could pull Halo Reach, where like all of the main characters except for one died.
How about, like, which characters would you like to see more content of?
Morden?
And it kind of fits in with this. Morden?
Samara, because I just feel like, because how old she is, that her experiences would be pretty cool.
A game with Arya as like a permanent squad mate would be fun.
I'd like to see the Samara Nihilus battle that she talks about briefly in Mass Effect 2. Do you guys remember that? He talks about how she chased a Spectre across, and it was Nihilus. Because Nihilus broke the code by doing his Spectre stuff, and so she decided she had to kill him. And she pretty much chased him through the woods for like 2 weeks or 2 months or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that'd be something like a cool survival game with those two.
One that I think would be kind of cool that people might not think of is, what about Legion?
Legion's pretty new, though, isn't he? He was created specifically to go after Shepard, so he may not have even been alive in Mass Effect 1. Alive in the sense of we understand it. I understand he's made up a bunch of programs.
It's like the Geth is all one and all that stuff. But if he was before Mass Effect 1, I would love to like play the game as the bad guys then.
Indoctrinated Geth?
And then maybe it could kind of branch off of when he became pro Shepard.
I thought he was always pro Shepard.
Was he always pro Shepard?
I was pretty sure that his existence, he was pretty much created as an autonomous unit because the Geth are super networked, right? So they all have to be in within range of each other to have consciousness. But he was a specialty unit created to go find Shepard and find out more about the Reapers, period. So someone will correct us and talk about how stupid we are in the comments. Go ahead.
All right.
Doesn't hurt our feelings at all. Meanie.
Well, I mean, I would also be kind of interested in seeing what people would like to see and there are comics. The comics do the backstories of all the characters except for Legion. And I think it would just be really cool.
Maybe a where he has to come out and investigate to find stuff. He's got to go into organic space, right? Has to stay totally hidden. Be an interesting...
So an entire stealth game. Where he infiltrates.
It'd be something like a stealth game.
You know what could be fun? An Archangel game. Like you play as you have Archangel, aka Garrus, and like his squad.
Kill people on Omega.
Yeah.
That goes in. I mean, that'd be fun for a while too. But that also all these ideas we come up with go into the idea of we already know what happens.
Well, your main character person for it maybe like leaves the Archangel squad at the end before the rest of them go and die. I don't know.
There was a comic that was actually very cool, and it was a Joker comic. And I'm talking about Batman. I'm talking about Batman Joker.
Oh, okay, never mind.
The entire comic was the viewpoint of a henchman as he breaks Joker out of Arkham.
Good job, dude. That's gonna go well.
So something of that would be pretty cool. Of like, maybe you're one of Morden's fellow scientists, or you're...
What about a prison break game with Jack?
That'd be cool.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, so there are good ideas here. All right, I'm glad you shut me up, Tucker.
Aha.
Okay, so if you missed out on last week's giveaway, Andromenerds related, I have a giveaway that's Andromenerds related. We are going to judge
Copycat.
artwork. Yeah, pretty much. We're going to judge artwork live on the show, as live as we can do. So go ahead and go to Minius GC and check out the video and get all the details there. And your art can make it onto Andromenerds.
And what does the winner get?
Multiple prizes. There's the Grunt plush that everyone loves. That is, if you want to see what it looks like, just look at my little icon right now. There's also the Drew Karpyshyn trilogy that has all the good background stuff from the first 3 games, and then the Art of the Mass Effect Universe book, which is one of my favorite items. You can win one of those 3. So there's first, second, and third prize.
Oh, interesting.
Speaking of videos that we do, though, we all make videos. What kind of videos should we point our audience to? I believe we all did the Explorers Wanted stuff, right?
Yeah, we did. I never put mine up because Mass Effect Follower is a group. So
Oh, okay. You could put it as like Tucker's audition.
I put mine up that on my personal channel that has only 20 subscribers. But
what's your personal channel? Why does it only have
just
20 subscribers?
Because it's just Tucker Appy, and I just use it for schoolwork and whatnot.
Oh, I guess I'm less interested in your schoolwork then.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was gonna try to point people in that direction. I put mine up in the video that I would point out. I put up my real audition and then a fake audition, which is confusing people, which is exactly what I was hoping to do.
I did my audition for it, and I think my audition was pretty good. I also just did yesterday, or I guess when you're listening to this a few days ago, I put out my heftiest news update for Mass Effect Andromeda that I've ever done. It's like 12 minutes. It's huge. Gigantic.
We're working on something like that of just, catching up everyone.
Huge, gigantic collection. All right, so Mass Effect stuff, all 3 channels. You got places to go to.
Yeah, while we're still doing this, we've recently been putting out lore on characters, and the past few ones we're titled the lore stuff about the races, just so it's a bit more standing out there than others. Anywho, we have ones about the Geth, the Drell, and the Corians were the most recent ones. So
there's a lot of info in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Each, let's see, the Geth one is 8 minutes long. The Drell is 9. The Corians is almost 12 minutes. I mean, the guy who makes them, Matt, who is from a YouTube channel called Mass Effect Lore, he's really good with those videos. And then they're written by Dan, who's one of the writers on Mass Effect Follower. It's pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, that's all the nerdiness we've got for you today. Join us next week as we get back on track and talk about science and games and hopefully have Ability Drain. If you have any questions for us, Mass Effect related or otherwise, feel free to email us at andromenerds@gmail.com, and your questions may be featured in an upcoming episode. Along with our co-host, be sure to follow Andromenerds on Twitter. If you like this podcast and would like to see some more awesome videos, be sure to check out and subscribe to our respective channels.
Shepard, how can I help?
Have you got a minute to talk?
Actually, wanted to talk. Medical matters. Aware that mission is dangerous. Different species react differently to stress. Aware you come by a great deal. Have had other species become attracted to me before. Awkward. Not interested.
Wait a minute, Morden. You're just yanking me around, aren't you?
Shocking suggestion. Doctor-patient confidentiality, a sacred trust. Would never dream of mockery. Enjoy yourself while possible, Shepard. We'll be here studying cell reproduction. Much simpler, less alcohol and mood music required.
Only you will know this, Minius, but I just muted myself.